Roleplay After Dark is for adults.
We'd be dropping F-bombs and G-dangs and all other kind of language.
Before we play, we put our kids to bed. You should too.
All right, welcome to Roleplay After Dark. This is a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition real play podcast. My name is Nick Kaltenbach, and I will be your dungeon master.
My name is Robin Kaltenbach. I am going to be playing character Amber Hammersmith. She's a dwarf ranger.
I am Allison, and I am playing Roland, the rogue tiefling.
I'm Thor Anderson, and I'm playing a Salem Saberhagen.
And Thor is his real name.
In our last episode, Salem meets his father, Sammy Saberhagen, and learns way too much about his mom. But he's got a new car and a mission from God. Let's see what happens this time on Roleplay After Dark. So Sammy Saberhagen goes ahead and hops up in the reins. Y'all load up into the carriage. Do you have anything that you want to do before we go to our next spot?
Hey Amber, are we just heading straight to see your grandfather Onyx from here? Is that what you said his name was?
Yeah, if we head north, we'll reach...
the Olantof Mountains.
So let's head out.
Sounds good. How long do you think that should take, Dad?
Coconuts. Oh my gosh. I
Say
think
that
hear
again,
horses.
Salem. There you go.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
How long
What
do
was
you
the
think it should
question?
take, Pops?
This should only take us a couple hours. We're really not that far from here. When we start cresting the hill, you should start being able to smell it from here. As you start to ride your carriage up over the grassy hill, you start to see the plain in front of you open up and are able to see a gigantic mountain that's actually a volcano. You see a volcano and there is smoke coming out of the top, like a nice white smoke coming out of the top. And out of the side of the mountain, there's a whole board, and there's actually lava or like molten magma coming out of the volcano from the side. And it's going down in like a circular, you can see this huge open pit mine. So there's like this big open pit that's been dug, in modern times would look like it was with trucks. And there's lava flowing on different ramps. So there's like a controlled flow of where the magma's going. And you can see it's all leading to various machinery. So there's like hammers and gears and things moving buckets of molten lava, and there's things being made. And you can tell that this is like a huge industry, like steel, yeah, exactly.
This is so fascinating, Amber. I've never seen anything like it before. What can you tell me about this stuff?
I just take a step forward and take a deep smell. Smells like home. Come this way. And I start walking down the hill into town.
So you can smell the sulfur, and you can feel that it is much warmer in this area than the previous section of the world that you had been in.
Stuff's beautiful, and it resells very well. I mean, sells well, looks nice on people. Anyways.
Sammy yells back. He's like, "Hey, I just want you to know I was watching my purse last night. Don't you get any funny ideas?"
I know, I saw it. It is a beautiful purse.
So we march into town, and at the back of the big square in the center of town is like a big building. We go to the door, and we go inside, and that's my grandpa's shop.
Okay, so as you get near the entrance of the volcano, mountain, you see basically a huge, intricate, Egyptian style, in the mountain carving that is like a faux facade of a building. And then there's a gigantic, 20, 30 feet gate door that they're able to open and close. And it's over a molten river of lava. As you approach the gates, there are two dwarfs up on towers on opposite sides of the gate. that yell down to you. Hey down there, who's approaching?
It's I, Amber Hammersmith.
Amber?
Yeah.
Amber Hammersmith?
Yeah.
All right. You hear some shuffling, and then all of a sudden, the chains start clinking, and the gate starts opening. And
All
Sammy
right, you
whips,
got pull. I like it.
yeah. Sammy whips the reins, and you guys start marching inside the volcano. As you're going in, you see it start to narrow. It starts to become more of like a 2 or 3 lane highway, so about size where you could at least have like one cart, 2 or 3 carts each lane going out in and out of the place. And in fact, you do see this. So there are people who are like just on the I guess I should say as you go down this tunnel, it then opens up into a wide inside of the volcano is completely hollow. So you are getting into now the opposite side, and it opens up into a city. So the whole inside of the mountain, inside carved into the mountain, is cities and shops and people's houses, and you can see lights and smell cooking and hear sounds and music and people in bars. And there is like a kind of like a concentric circle to it because it's a volcano shape. So there's the outer things, and that's like kind of homes. And as you get closer into the middle of town, you're starting to see the more of the businesses and the shops. And then in the center, there's like a big, huge, what looks like a kind of like a dwarven, really like jutted and rugged architecture, like castle type area. And there's like lava and stuff pumping and sprouting out of stuff like a
Oh my
rock
god, this is amazing. It looks beautiful. I've seen tiki bars like this before. I love it.
Tiki bars. Yeah, I've never really left Serene before, so this is nice.
Oh, thanks.
As you are going through the town, Sammy is asking you for directions, Amber, and you're able to point him slightly off center from the palace and more towards the industrial district near where the lava, you can see, is controlled flow. All of it seems to be kind of like controlled beneath where you're at and then flown out through that hole that goes through the side of the mountain. And near that is a like building, like a Russian style, really plain. Well, no, that's boring. Fuck that. You get there, and it's like a completely ornate steelwork that's got glistening gems all over it, and it has an Art Deco style to it that has different gargoyles and a whole scene that plays out on the side of it that's like a hero's journey, basically, that you're seeing sculpted on the front of it. And you roll up, and then you guys go ahead and stop, and it's time to hop out. All right. As you guys get inside, you are in a complete blacksmith's, like a mix of a blacksmith shop with a wizard shop. You're going to see potions, but you're also going to see hammers and fires and drafting tables and stuff like that, and arcane spell enchantment tables. And there's a bunch of various people working, and you know that you need to head back to the main area where he does most of his work. He's got his own chamber.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys push past all of the other dwarves and people that are kind of working and carrying different trays to various places, and you get to the door of his chamber.
Who wants to knock first?
I knock on the door.
Hello?
Onyx, it's Amber. Can I come in?
Oh, yes, darling. Come in, please.
We go inside.
The door, you hear several different clicks, a whir, and then see some lights go up, and then it opens itself automatically, and he's sitting at a table across from you, facing the other direction, looking at a screen that is like a moving picture image. It's like different schematics on it that he seems to all be looking at on like a magical picture screen.
Onyx, I need your help.
He puts down the book or not the book, excuse me. He hits a thing on his desk that causes the picture screen to go away, and turns to you and says, "Have you recovered the fist whistle?"
I have. It's here, but it's in pieces.
Oh, child. Ooh, child. Let's see it.
I pull it out of my satchel, hand the pieces.
He waddles over to the remnants of the fist whistle and pulls them into his hand. Shakes his head. I knew this day would come. I knew someday this day would come. Come, follow. We have much to discuss. So Onyx goes over to his workstation and kind of splays the parts out into the vague shape that they were at. He says to Amber, Amber, you must know that this is a weapon that we've had in our family for 1,000 years, and I know that you feel probably terrible that it's broken. But
I do. That's why I went on the journey to get it and to fix it.
fret not. The prophecies that we were told about the prophecies that we were told about this weapon actually foretold that this day would come. There's a future for the fist whistle.
What happens from here?
Well, I don't know all of the puzzle. We actually have many pieces to solve, but I do have something that will be important for your next step of the journey. And he goes over to call on a stone of far speech, and he grabs it off his desk and radios, and you hear him say, what's your dad's name?
Granite?
Oh yeah, that's good. Granite.
Onyx.
Onyx is my grandpa.
Yeah.
Slate.
Slate is tight. That's a tight
Slate,
name.
yeah.
Slate
Molly's gonna
Hammersmith.
Slate. She's here. We got to bring in the heavy hitter. And he waits for a little bit. Slate. And he doesn't hear any response on the stone of far speech. All of a sudden, the blood starts to drain out of his face.
What's happened to my father?
I have no idea. We've been working on getting ready for this the sequence of events to happen for many years, but it's not okay that he's missing. There's something going on. We got to get over to his house right now so that we can see what happened.
We take off.
All right, so
There's no time to waste. Let's go.
He grabs a belt off of his desk and tightens it around him, basically, and hits a button, and you can see armor, Iron Man style, come out over him.
Tony Stark, son!
When do I get some of that?
You can't handle it. If you have to ask, you can't handle it.
Whoa.
There's a button that releases, what was that? Scabies. The button that releases scabies.
Give yourself a challenge.
Oh, yeah.
The suit will someday fit you, and then it'll be time to wear it.
Let's head out.
So you start rushing, and his little legs start moving as fast as they can go. You cross across town. Or excuse me, not across town. You cross across a courtyard because they're basically in the same kind of area. And you run into a building that you can tell is like the personal residence of your father. There's paintings of your family and stuff like that. And you now need to roll you get in there and you don't see anything awry. You run into the first door and you're in like the living space area.
Okay.
So what do you all do?
Perception check?
I was gonna say, can we roll for...
All right, yeah, give me a perception check.
Okay, 17,
14.
plus 3, 17,
12.
18, 19, 20.
Amber immediately can see that there is a hanging door separator. So it's like a big drape or a cloth that you would use to separate rooms is torn down off into the back left of the house, and so you can see that.
I point at it. It's there.
Onyx.
What do you think we should do?
Onyx starts rushing immediately towards the room.
I follow.
Yeah, follow.
Okay. When you get inside, you can see that this is the bedchamber of your father, and it has been torn apart. The bed is flipped over. There's dressers that have been knocked, armoires that are shattered to pieces.
Amber, how can we help? What should we do? Can we roll for a perception check to see if there's any clues that we can find in the room?
Yeah, go ahead and give me a die 20. Anybody else that wants to can join her.
I was gonna say, could I go over to the wall and hit a button that's like a secret, it's like a secret safe chamber or whatever, just to see if they're in there on the wall?
Your dad is a
My dad,
panic
if
room?
he's in there. Fuck yeah, we have a panic room.
Call her Jodie Foster because this is a panic room.
Okay. So
I just
you
rolled a
go
16
over.
for whatever you just had us roll for.
I did it too, so Salem, you're going to be the one to run in there and make sure stuff's okay because I tripped on my shoelace,
Oh no.
apparently.
Okay. So Thor, one of the things that you notice is a leather satchel is sitting in the middle of the room, kind of like covered by a blanket or something.
Interesting.
And you go to you think that it's out of place, so you go to investigate.
Yeah, absolutely. Investigation.
Okay. So you see in there is like a bunch of, you see actually about 100 gold and a letter with like a seal on it.
Oh, wow. Hey, Amber, there's quite a bit of coinage in this bag and a sealed letter. I think you better look at it. I hand it to Amber.
I take it and I read it.
Okay. The letter that you see is basically an order to kidnap Slate Hammersmith. So it says that your instructions are to kidnap Slate Hammersmith, and that it's Dolan. It actually says that it's from Dolan. He's the one who paid the gold to hire the person to
Kidnap Slate.
kidnap Slate.
So that person had this bag, or my dad had this bag beforehand, before the people got there.
No, I'm suggesting. Well, I guess I shouldn't as the DM infer for you.
Are you saying this stuff out loud to the party?
Yeah, I'm reading that. That was my voice.
It also says that in the letter it says that the Dolan has told the elves that he's got the fist whistle, and so that once he kidnaps your father, then the invasion can continue.
We gotta get my dad.
Maybe there's a way that we can trade something.
That son of a bitch, Dolan. I've known him my whole life. I can't believe he'd do something like that. That piece of shit.
Oh, calm down, Salem. I'm thinking maybe since I'm a little slippery guy, maybe we can do a little switcheroo. I am wanted in a lot of different places too, so maybe we could trade out for your dad.
You do have that your gaseous form spell. This is the DM's data saying you've got the gaseous form spell, so you could totally switch places with somebody and then disappear out of it.
Is that something Salem could set up with the?
Oh yeah, he already knows. Sam's already on top of how many places are just aching for some of this Rohan meat. Basically, I traveled a lot of places, so yeah, maybe we could get your dad out. I use my gaseous form, get myself out of there.
So as that is all going on, you guys have that little discussion. Amber, you also said that you knew that your father had a panic room.
Yeah.
Go ahead and when you hit the lever, you pull a book off of a shelf, and a piece of or a large panel of rock slides across, and you actually see your mother in the panic room. What's her name?
Ruby Hammersmith.
Ruby Hammersmith. That's beautiful.
So we all just have
rock names.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, Mom, are you okay?
Amber, I was scared terribly. Thank goodness you saved me.
What happened? Where's Dad?
Ooh, the men, they came in and they took him. Oh, they were so terrible. They smelled. Ooh, they were elves. You know how I hate them.
Oh no, there were elves. The elves
Which
have
way
Dad.
did they go? Did you see where they took him?
I don't know. He was fighting them and he pushed me in here and I've been so hungry. And, where's the scotch?
Well, here.
I go make my
these
mom
nuts.
a drink and bring it to
And I
her.
hand her some nuts.
Rowan hands her a flask.
She goes for the flask. We're gonna pretend that there were no nuts.
You're lucky our tracks record separately, so you can just delete that out.
Your mother, after having a drink, finally is able to calm down and gain herself, and she says, "Your father left this the weapon that your grandfather has carried into battle for many years." She takes a lace blanket off of the nightstand next to her, and you actually see a large emblazed case that's all red leather with brass and gold casings around the edges, and emeralds and onyx in the inlays.
Oh, how beautiful.
And you flip it open, and it is a glassy black warhammer. It is like a golden black, and you can see onyxes encrusted all over the handle and adorned across it with filigree. She lifts it up, and for an older dwarf, you can see that she has no problem lifting up the warhammer, and she passes it to you.
Thank you.
Onyx comes over and puts his hand on your shoulder and says, This weapon survived many years in our family, and it is very powerful, and it has a destiny with the prophecy that we've held on to this weapon for millennia because we knew of its power, and one day that our family would need it, and I think today is that day. And so you actually are getting a +1 warhammer. I hear. Let me see. I think that's a +1 to.
It's both attack and damage, typically.
Attack and damage. Okay.
Yeah.
So now, Robin, when you roll your attack for your warhammer,
Thundercock and Fizz Whistle.
Yeah. All right, we'll do Thundercock.
no, we can't do Thundercock. That's too much.
Daddy will know. Okay, so what if we do?
We're gonna call it Rift Breaker.
Rift Breaker.
Because of
Okay.
like the
Rift
sea
Breaker.
and shit.
Yeah, that's its name is Rift Breaker. Your father says that we need to speak to the Amber, sweetie. It's time. We need to speak to the king.
Okay, Mom.
So you all flee the helm and make it back to the center of town, and you're able to see. You get to the center of the palace, and there are many guards there, and they're all doing their patrols. But Onyx is well known, established member of this community, so he has no problem just waving through and going through all the checks. You get to the palace hall, and you're able to go down, and you see a long procession of columns and fires, and you get to the end, and there's a throne room essentially with your king sitting on it. What do you think we should call the king? Thickgrod Earthhide.
Thickgrod.
Thickgrod Earthhide.
Thickgrod Earthhide.
So you see a dwarf that has short hair, which is unusual for a dwarf on the top. He still has a beard. All dwarves have beards. But he has shortish gray hair and kind of more of a more military style haircut. And you come up to him, and he's alert and ready to receive you. And it seems jovial when he sees Onyx and his family coming up and goes to embrace Onyx. And you see Onyx walk up and being kind of worried, but still embracing the king as friends.
Mm-hmm.
So, Onyx, what news have you brought to me? What? I can see it in your face that something has gone terribly wrong. And then Onyx tells him that Slate has gone missing. I haven't seen him since this morning's. Slate's gone missing. I haven't seen him since this morning's meeting that we had. And the king looks visibly shocked, and he says, "Okay, we've prepared for this. We've known that the elves were going to move on our kingdom for a while now." And when he hears the news of this, he looks to all of you, and he says, "I don't know your friends, but it's time that you all learn a little bit about the Earth's history." And he goes into his throne like desk area and pulls out a very old scroll and unfolds it, and what you can see looks like a map, but it's not a map of the current Earth that you're looking at. You see different shapes and words written on them, and like some words that seem kind of familiar, but none of it really makes sense. And he points to it and says, "So about 1,000 years ago, there was a connection to all these different places that you could go to outside of our own world. Our world is not. It's been many years ago. It was possible to travel outside of our planet. There were portals that would allow you to go from our plane to the astral plane, is one of the planes that they were called, or to the ethereal plane, even an elemental plane. And for many years, we battled against the monsters and demons that would come out of these holes. And for many years, we suffered. And there was decisions on whether or not we were going to do something about it, or how we would to do anything about it. And the hordes, the undead hordes, they would just keep coming. And out of desperation, the elves had a plan. They decided that they would build an artifice to harness the sorcerers and the wizards' powers to be able to seal ourselves off from the extra planes that were causing us so much torment in this world. But they didn't do their calculations correct. When the spell was cast and finally the deed was done, our planet was torn asunder. There was rifts in the elements in the planes all over our planet, and it took all of the major sorcerers of our time to close them. Many things happened after that, those days that are speculation, but many people disappeared. Entire cities disappeared in the blink of an eye. Our entire world changed that day, and we've really kind of lost what many like monuments that were on our planet simply ceased to exist. Entire new monuments and cultures showed up out of nowhere, and our world has dealt with it for the past 1,000 years, and it's fallen into legend. But the legends foretold that there would be a day when a great sundering would happen, and we would have to deal with those forces again.
So what does this have to do with the fist whistle?
The fist whistle was one of the weapons that was made so that if we ever needed to get out, if we ever needed to, for some reason, break the spell that we had cast to protect us from the undead hordes, it's like a key.
And what kind of magic could have created something as powerful as the fist whistle?
Well, our magic back then was a lot stronger. We were able to cast and do wonderful things. But when the break happened and the world was torn asunder, the magic was also lessened.
So does that
So
mean
what
there's
can we
no
do
way that we
now?
can repair the fist whistle?
Well, if maybe we could help restart the magical current of the planet. Maybe if we could do something to get back to our original strength, then we could fix the fist whistle.
And how could we do that? I know I felt the death in the earth before. How do we stop it? How do we, even harder to imagine, reverse it?
He pulls out another scroll, and you see like what now looks like a map of your Earth, and this is one that's more familiar to you. And you see different arrows and stuff pointing to some different like continents and shapes and stuff on the map.
Sure.
And he says, in the before time, there were many different portals that you could get to travel from one place to the next, and it was possible to actually travel deeper and deeper into our own planet. And some theorize that it is actually possible to commune with the Earth's magic if you are able to find its location. But this is only legend, and possibly maybe if you could find that and get that restarted, then we could fix what was happening and stop the barrier from falling.
So we need to dig? Or do you have tunnels? Is there a way?
So these are actually portals or ways to travel into different planes. So you can go to this location here, and he points on the map and he says, "This is a battlefield from 1,300 years ago. Here's a known location where originally in my great great grandfather's ages, you were able to travel into the Underdark, and through there are different connections all over that can take us to many different places. And maybe if we can find a pattern, we could find a way to get to where we need to."
I see. Can I roll a check to study the map? Just like
Yes,
standing
go
there?
ahead, Thor.
Just-
Give me a die 20.
That's a. Let me see. This is gonna be in perception. I'm assuming.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Swipe over. Perception plus 1, 17.
Perfect. So you're leaning over and you look at the map and you see that there's one of the indicators on the map is actually in that northern coast region that your father said that he had gone to war and encountered the location where your mother was seen.
Hey, Dad. Isn't this by that location that you discussed with me earlier when we spoke about Mother?
Yeah, you're right. I had sex all over that coast.
TMI, Dad.
It was really, it was a
Nice.
good war for that,
Right.
So the king says, he looks over the what you're discussing and says, maybe this is the first place that you should try and find and take the fist whistle with you and see if you can discover how to fulfill the prophecy.
Sounds good. About how far do you think that would take to get there, Dad? Or how far? How long, rather? Sorry.
You see your father take out his forefinger and
Penis?
thumb. Yeah, and he starts doing some calculations on the map, and he says, "We're gonna need to get a boat. We're gonna have to get a boat because we're gonna have to sail up north, and that's gonna take, even on a boat, several weeks."
Do we have to take a boat?
If you got a portal or a dragon you want to fly up there,
I look over at Onyx. Dwarves don't like boats.
Roland's just over here hoping they got ship cats.
so after you all discuss,
Roland eats ship
Uh,
cats?
No, I want to pet the ship cats.
Oh, okay.
the king looks to the group and looks to Amber and says, "These are your brethren.
What happened?
These warriors are your brethren."
Yes. They're my, I look at them all, friends.
I told you we'd be friends.
It's good that you have friends because you're going to need them. He pulls out a purse from inside of his clothing, and he hands it to you and says, "Here is a little bit of what the kingdom can offer to help get you started on your adventure and get any supplies that you need before you leave on your journey." And you open it up, and you actually see 300 gold in there.
I bow before him, my king.
So you have 594 then.
Yeah.
Jeez, I only got 10.
Well, she's all sharing it.
Dirty dwarf.
She was doing the treasure. So the king says, "I'm sure that it will take time for you to get a plan of attack. I have to stay here and do my duties as king, but you are able to take any lodging that you need within the kingdom or at the local hostel, hotel, whatever you need. You've got the gold to take care of it, and try to get any supplies that you need, any magical items that you think will help."
As we leave, I flick 100 gold to
What?
Salem
What?
and Roland.
Oh,
Yeah, thank you.
Sharon.
Well, you have how much? You have 500, or 600 almost. Did you all want to? Did you need to go buy any gear? Do you have any if you wanted to go buy magical items? If you had any ideas, we could go maybe do a thing where we do that. You could go to a tavern. You could talk.
Ooh, should we go ask out people and stuff at the tavern?
Amber did say she wanted to have a beer as a group.
But yeah, let's go have a beer.
All right.
So you're all loaded up on gold, loaded up on that visit from your king, and you start heading out to the local tavern, and you're looking for some beers and good times. Oh no, bro, you need a white. Always trust a fart. Be a man.
Exactly.
Oh, that's not a
So-
fart.
So Roland's gonna like go try to get some info, some intel.
You go into the bar,
How
and
can
this
I
is
secure a boat? Do they give us a boat?
no. There was no boat given. You have to secure passage if you're going to go on the boat. You get into the bar. This is one that's cut into the stone that's like on the kind of the outside of town,
Okay.
and you're able to hear that there's quite a bit of like mechanical music going on. There's like a bunch of like really mechanical sounding music because there's a lot of like industry that you can also hear in the background. Kind of matches with the vibe.
Right.
And there's like dwarves that are doing like interesting dancing, and there's drinking going on and festivities. It's like a bit of a party.
Hell
What do you do?
yeah.
Should we do a perception check just to see who should go first? Because maybe I'm not the best person.
What do you want to do? What does your character do? You're okay. So let's get you into your head. You're Roland.
I want to go check out and talk to people and see what's going on.
Okay.
And maybe like ask.
Let's see how
So
who's on the party right now? Did Onyx go take off back to whatever he was doing before we met up? Or is Onyx still with us?
yes, we had like a Star Wars scene where everybody did their hugs and their kisses, and they left the throne room, and they all went back to their individual jobs. So
Okay.
now you have your father and Taryn. Taryn's been with you and not said a thing this entire time because, to be honest, she's a little high.
Cheeky bitch.
She's a little high.
She is.
So, Roland, you're wanting to like kind of mix with the crowd and see what you find out.
I want to do a perception check to see if they're going to be chill with it.
Okay,
Might not be a good idea.
so go ahead and give me. Let's see how we do this. Yeah, go ahead and give me a perception check.
15.
15. Okay, so you can see that there is some thieves and rogue activities. There is a group of dwarves that are every once in a while they just have that vibe, right? So they're off to a corner of the bar, and they're enjoying the festivities. They're clapping and they're singing, but they're not really dancing.
All right, so I want to go over and talk to them.
Okay, you go up.
See how they perceive me.
Sure, there's like 4 dwarves, and they're all like sitting at like a U-shaped table.
All right. Hello, gentlemen.
They say, we know that you're we know that you're into the kind of things that we're into. What can we do for you?
So, I have a group of people that I may or may not be associated with, and we are just in town and just kind of maybe need to hang out, ask some questions, see what's up.
Okay, sure. For the right price, maybe. What kind of questions do you have?
So, what do you gentlemen know about boats? Maybe
Boats.
passages on boats. You got boats. Ways that we can possibly get a boat. Be able to, cross some
Yeah.
seas.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I have several contacts that I could get that could help us with a boat.
What is it going to cost me?
Yeah, I do need something in return.
All right, lay it on me.
Well, we've been having some trouble with another, rival group of people who take things from people that doesn't belong to them, right?
Yeah, I see.
And we have these like sigils that are like a representative of our groups, and ours is a boar, and it's like a symbol of a boar, and they stole it, and we need you to get it back from us. It's a bit of a shame that they stole it.
So basically, we're playing adult capture the flag here. Yeah, I get it. Definitely. Do you have any more information? Can I roll for how much information they're going to give me?
Sure. You could just ask him. Is there anything?
Yeah,
Like
things
what
I
can
need
you
to
tell
know.
me?
Where are we going? What are we doing? Who they are?
Sure. Yeah.
Where we
He
at?
says, "I'll get you passage." He also says, "I know that you're, for instance, wanted right now by the elves.
You son of a bitch. All right.
So I will get you passage on one of my ships that will go undetected to wherever you need to go. If you go out to the mountains outside or to the hills outside, there are opposing dwarves. There are hill dwarves. They don't enjoy the heat of the mountains, so they are out in the hills. They're a bit like trashy.
Country folk.
Yeah, and they freaking stole our mascot.
All right.
Stole your board.
If you get it back for us, we'll get you passage."
All right.
You got me. Amber, Salem, how do we feel about this?
Sounds like what we gotta do. We gotta go get this boar back.
I agree.
Yeah,
Pushed.
I'm in.
All right, they all raise their beer mugs to you, and they signal to the barkeep, "Let's have another pitcher for a great business deal." And all of a sudden, they start passing you all beers from their pitchers and invite you to sit at their table if you'd like.
Something about this makes me a little uncomfortable.
Roland's
Free
always uncomfortable.
beer.
I know. And if I'm uncomfortable, that means maybe.
I'm gonna roll a insight check.
From a spear?
All right, what are you inciting?
The beer.
Oh, good call. Give me it.
A 16 insight on the beer.
Yeah. No, you can tell that the beer's fine.
Okay.
So you all are getting like lifted. You all have like beers, and you're starting to
I
feel.
theoretically feel like I should know some of these people too.
Have a
Like
good time.
they should know me. So like yeah.
Okay, so I will say that you see like a couple of cousins that are partying as well, that are at like another table. This is separate from the roguish group,
Okay.
and you can see that they're like other women from the Hammersmith family, and they're all like dancing and going like looking at boys. Yeah, so that's like the scene. It's kind of like a mix between like a bar, but also like kind of just like an open food hang, like an open courtyard type thing.
Okay.
So do you all have anything that you want to do for this evening, or are we just going to have a nice party and then call it a night?
Can I roll to see if I bust a good move?
Hell yeah, let's see. Oh, shit.
Dude, it's a nat 20.
Yes.
So you pull Taryn out onto the dance floor and start cutting it, and you're getting out there so hard. You're popping, you're locking, you're dropping. You're pulling out some magic to where every once in a while you do like a little cannon out of your hands, right? A little confetti, and then maybe some fire, like shh.
Even Amber's like, oh, now I can see it. I see what she sees. Okay.
And it is hot fire. You're starting to get everybody on the dance floor turned up, and they are getting out there with you, grooving hard. And all of a sudden, you start to see another human that has kind of a big, dark, black beard, and he comes up and he starts sashaying over across to the music. You hear a tambourine, and he starts shrugging his shoulders and getting his legs going, and he's gonna dance back at you. Oh no! And he looks like a fool. He starts going down and he starts doing the splits. Whoo! And he
Can't get back up.
can't get back up. He's stuck.
Can I roll to react?
Sure.
16.
So you just keep dancing.
I'm fine with it.
You're just going around him in
I'm just
circles.
doing it.
And he's like stuck, and he's like, hey, hey. He's like hopping up and down. Hey, hey, hey,
Is
hey,
Roland
let me
like
up.
subtly like giving him a hand while dancing around him or whatever? Like
And
subtly,
like taking it back. Just
subtly
yeah, quick
kicking his
enough.
butt.
Oh, and so people start like throwing coins out. They're so impressed. They're like 10 gold coins on the ground.
I need these.
So as the everybody's like dying down, they say like the everybody enjoyed the dance. Everybody kind of like leaves the field or whatever. The guy is over there, and the another lady comes up and then goes to like pick the poor guy up, and he's literally all like locked up. So she's got to like lift him up, and his legs are still all fucked up. So he's like the whole time just like mean mugging you, looking at you. And she like carries him out. She's like really tough. She's like a big burly woman, and she's just like
big
carrying.
dwarfin lady.
Yeah. So she just carries his ass out there, and he's like, "Next time, I'm gonna get you on there."
Should I roll to go talk to him?
To the guy.
See
Do you
what
want to
he
go
wants
talk to
know.
the
Yeah, I
guy?
wanna know what's up. What's going on, guy?
You go when you go up to him. He's being carried out by his Brunhilde, his big woman, and he's like, "I'm the only person that dances in this town, and I've been dancing for years, and you just disrespected me."
Can I roll to see if I can challenge Kevin Bacon here?
Kevin Bacon.
Well, yeah, because it's footloose.
Well,
He's trying to get loose in this town.
you already disrespected him. What are you gonna do? You're gonna
Okay,
rub it in.
can
You're
I,
gonna rub salt in his wound.
Hey,
Can I ask
we're
him-
all new around here. Why don't we just maybe let bygones be bygones? What do you say? I roll persuasion.
Okay, go ahead and give me a die 20.
15 plus 5, dirty 20.
So he looks up at his Brunhilde and he goes, "Give him the belt." And she pulls out from a bag a belt, and it's a dancing champion belt.
Nice.
So you literally have like a
Yeah,
wrestling style
brother.
belt, and it has like people dancing on the front of it.
We're super excited about this belt, brother.
As he hands it, or as Brunhilde hands it to you, they start walking out, and he says, "I'm gonna get it back one of these days." And his legs hit the door on the way out because they're still stuck out on the splits.
He can't get him straightened.
Go sideways. Go
She
sideways.
has to like turn him.
Yeah.
To get him out.
Turn me sideways.
Turn me sideways. It hits one more time. And that's the end of the night. You all decide to sleep there for the evening. Taryn secures an accommodation for you while you're tearing it up on the dance floor. She's like, "I'm going to get that nut." Thanks for joining us on Roleplay After Dark. Please like the podcast, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Seriously, if you've got this far, you like the show, so let other people know who might like it too. Follow us on Twitter at RPAfterDark. Mention us on Twitter and we will pick your name choices to be able to use as names in the show. So help follow us on Twitter so that we can build the show to be better for everyone.